Abbas, I have to ask you this question. Have you ever reacted like that after being substituted?
One time only, and I didn't play the next week.
Coach, have you ever come across a player who is...
Yeah, players are sometimes not happy, you know, when you substitute. But actually the coach has the idea why he substituted.
Who was the coach when...
I was in Australia. Ep18, he was a national coach at the time, and I was playing for Sydney Olympic. And he pulled me off. And yeah, I was only 18 years old, so I learnt my lesson the right way. You never question the coach's decision. At the end of the day, he's in charge.
All right, now who's in charge? You guys are, because we asked you to ask us questions which we could ask Abbas. How many times did I mention the word ask there? Homework for you. All right, the first one comes from BNS Raj. How do you think Malaysian football has progressed since your playing days?
Oh, well, that's a difficult question.
Hey,
because
be brutal, man.
If I'm going to compare my days of football to now, I think it's chalk and cheese. I'm sorry to say, but I think the 90s there was better technically gifted players. I think the competition was a lot better.
Yeah.
The quality of local players and especially the quality of foreign players was much better than what it is right now. But I think, you know, saying that, I think the interest, I think the current crop, especially in the last 4 or 5 years, they've definitely risen the expectation of football now in Malaysia, especially, you know, winning the Suzuki Cup and doing so well. So the national team's got a lot to do with that. But again, the local league is getting better. I think it is progressing. I've been now back for the last 4 years, and I think it is or has progressed in the last 4 years. That's because I think the local players are starting to improve, and the foreigners are starting to get better.
Yeah.
I think they're starting to buy more foreigners, and of course for next year the foreigners are even better. Now they talk about David Guiza, you got George Boateng, was it Caleb Forlan, and that's what you need. I mean, during my time, every foreigner was an international. You had to be an international to come in and play. So the quality had to be at least 2 times or 3 times better than the local player.
You know,
are they better than the local players 2 or 3 times at the moment, the foreign players? I don't think so.
But during your time when you were playing here, I think the club level football was much more interesting to watch compared to now. I don't know what's going to happen next season with all the new players coming in, but during your time was actually quite good.
I think the interest was great during our time, and let's not forget, there was no Premiership football on TV. I mean, the Malaysia Cup or the Malaysian Super League was the #1 game, and that's something I think the current crop they're vying against the Premiership, and the Premiership has surpassed and taken that. But still, I think they've done a pretty good job in the last couple of years. I think the re-emergence of the new states or new powers like Kelantan and Negri. I mean, during my time, it was Singapore, Selangor, Kedah, and Perak, of course. And no, believe me. I mean, Perak was probably the best team during that time. I mean, talent-wise, they had a fantastic team, but at least the Kelantan's coming through. You got Kelantan, Negri, ATM. Yeah. So there's new powers are pushing through, which is great.
Change in teams though. You mentioned 4 teams just now, right, in your team, but now it's still the same thing. It's Kelantan now, the new power. ATM last season, right? And then Selangor off and on, really. So there's only seems to be 2, and then Singapore 12.
Okay. Yeah, the Lions 12
yeah,
coming
Lions
in.
12, right? So there's only 3. So it hasn't changed in terms of number of quality teams, but it's only changed in terms of which teams are taking over.
I'll tell you which team is taking over, Johor, which leads me to my next question. Smooth. Thank you very much. It comes from Yusof and Sanjeev. They have a kind of similar question. How happy are you to see Johor back competing with the big boys, given that the superstars and the signings are made by your very good friend, Fandi Ahmad?
Oh, I think it's tremendous. I think it's tremendous for the league. You want to see all these, great former players still involved in the game, and they're the ones who are going to bring more interest and more seats. I think it's important. Abdullah Saleh, Zainul Abidin, Hassan. You look at, P. Maniam at Selangor. You look at Fandi Ahmad at Johor. But not only that, I think Johor's going the right way about it, and you got to compliment it. I know they're saying, oh, look, they're buying the league, but it's not. Every state's got money. Where's the money from every state?
Yeah.
Get the money out and start bringing quality players, because the Malaysian people love football, and they will come and watch quality players in action, and that's what they need to do at the moment. And I think Johor has started the standard there, and now everybody's following.
Ross and I were asking this question: where did suddenly the money come from?
Yeah, but every state.
Like you said, maybe it was there all the time, and it's just they haven't got the money out.
Yeah, the state FAs haven't got the money. I mean, you got to compliment. Okay, the royalties got involved, but every state is backed by the royal families in somehow, or the state federation, and that's the only way to go. We need a strong Malaysian Super League for the development of football here. You need that. If you don't have a strong league, then you're not going to develop, you know, great players
Speaking
coming
of
through.
development, Abbas, since you've been a player yourself, I mean, I know it's like flogging a dead horse, but how important is development at the grassroots level? I mean, look, you hear of countries like China and Russia, you know, going around scouting 8-year-olds to join gymnastics and stuff. And if you go to your local field around, I'm sure where I live, you see loads of kids who are really, really, really good at football. But you know, they're nowhere. I mean, they don't represent the district. You know.
Yeah, but I mean,
really
without grassroots football, and if you're not developing it from grassroots all the way, then you're not going to get too much, too much power or exposure and all that.
Grassroots development. We don't have organized grassroots development, and then every weekend there's an under-12 match. You know, matches are very important. We don't have this. Formerly, when it was semi-pro, the semi-pro was there. Even the amateur league was very good. The local amateur leagues. Immediately you go and see an amateur league, you can easily pick up a player who can play in the professional league. Now the amateur league is so low, the difference are very big.
That was my next point. I think every state or every team should have a junior, development or junior teams below. So you've got the Super League team, you've got the under-21s, you should have an under-19 or under-17, 16, 15. And why can't they do it? They can do it. It can be done. It can be done. It's the only way you're going to improve football here. And at the moment, I think technically, I don't think it's improved that much. You know, it technically has not improved that much compared to say the 90s, and that's where the problem is. I think
the local league must be very high standard, and you must have at least 10 top teams, same standard. You know, we always feel now we look about 4 or 5 teams have quality players. The number of quality players in our Premier League, Super League, is very less. You see, everybody looking on, Shahrul, Shafi Saleh. We must have maybe 20, 30 players of that capabilities, category, so that, everybody wants to buy and give them a chance to play, So we need still quality players.
Abbas, you touched on this a bit earlier, and Zul would like to know as well, your top 3 foreign players right now.
In the Malaysian Super League? The year that's just gone past, or the new ones they've just signed?
Okay, let's do the past one.
The past one, really impressed. I think Muhammad Gadar from Kelantan as a striker is probably the best that I saw. Probably alongside, what's his name, Fokido, the boy from Terengganu. I think they were 2 standouts for me.
Marlon James?
You know what I mean? Marlon James from up there. I think those 3, good.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have foreign players, that's probably the standard that you should be looking at.
Okay.
Talking about attackers. Defensively, I think you've got some decent players. Ramiz Dayub, I think from Selangor did a pretty good job in defence there. Then you look at some of the other states. Well, to be honest with you, I can't remember some. That's because.
That's because you're getting old, but nevertheless. Okay, moving on.
Nobody really stood out, to be honest with you. So, out of how many in the league? 12?
Yeah.
Out of 24, maybe you can have 5 or 6, but in the rest, I don't think they're good enough to be playing in the Malaysian Super League. It's not worth the money. You might as well put that money towards a local talent or development towards that.
Fair enough. All right, Bob would like to know, have you ever thought of getting into football management?
Not at the moment. So I do have my badges. I've done all that. I was managing in Australia and more into the technical director side with juniors. So that's what I've been doing, junior development for the last 6 or 8 years. So that's something that I love. I think that's more closer to the heart. Yeah, I'm not gonna go and babysit a 23, 24-year-old like Dato. Dato maybe is good at doing that. I don't think I can. I think I'll be doing what Hulk did to his manager.
Currently, you're looking after developing young kids, is it?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So what do you reckon? How many you've been doing for 6 years?
I did that. Yeah, I've been doing that for
so
the
what
last
do you reckon,
6 or 8 years.
What do you reckon is the quality of the younger players or the development of the young kids?
At the moment here,
Yeah.
oh look, man, I see some really raw talent. And there's raw talent everywhere you go.
That goes
But you know what I mean? It's just, you got to know how to nurture them. You need to get them young and you need to develop them. But they need good coaching behind them. You can't just have any Tom, Dick and Harry open an academy and say, yeah, I know what I'm doing. You understand? So that's where I think the former players, that's where the FAM maybe should step in and try and get some of the former players who are respected, who have been great players, and put them in charge in maybe in different areas or different states and give them the opportunity to nurture these young kids.
This is the age where the nurturing sort of fails in Malaysia. Is it that 14,
less,
even less?
No, you got to get them less. You got to get them less.
But you already, but say you already doing it. Like, so you're nurturing these young kids.
I'm at the school at the moment. I mean, I got the academy at the Guardian International School where I'm nurturing schools. Kids here, no outsiders, but of course, in schools there's some talented kids in the school educational programs, but of course most of the talented kids, if you're going to find them here, are in the outskirts, in the kampongs where they're not going to be seen. This is where the raw talent I'm talking about, and I'm sure Dato will agree. He's probably seen it a lot more than I have. I don't get around to go to those places.
Like in your
but only,
football
yeah,
fields
but
and
only
stuff,
I can only talk on experience when I played in Johor, where I saw some of those raw talented kids come and join our squads, and then after a year or two you go, wow, where have they been hiding, and they're coming in at 24, 25, so where have you been doing from 18 to 25? They missed out on 7 years of talent. You understand? So this is what I'm talking about. That's where they need to identify.
At the age of 10 to 12, there are great talents in the country. If you go, because when I was a technical director of Para FA for 5 years, and I do a lot of coach education at different districts for school teachers, and we always bring in boys under 12. I say, look at the talent. See, but nobody is aware the talent. Only the coaches know. Oh, this guy got so much talent. But then we have to develop that from on. But the awareness, the parent, even the boy himself doesn't know his talent is so good. You see, so only the people can teach him, pick him up. If you say like what Messi, they picked up. Barcelona picked them from at 12 years old from Argentina. Somebody, scout. Malaysian doesn't have scouts. And although the scouts don't get paid, even you go, you see? Yeah. So we must have a professional style, okay, a scout, go and watch. Oh, this kid, okay, got a lot of potential. We pick them, put them in the right school, right coach, and they have to come.
But it's not only the coaches and they got a role to play in the development. We're talking about senior development. We're talking about improving the league and the standard of football in Malaysia. The foreign players got a big role to play. Yeah. Big role to play. During my time, I don't care what anybody says, but the foreign players had a big role to play in the improvement of the league, of the local players. I know the local players improved when most of the foreign players came in there because they're playing against quality players week in, week out. And that's why the current foreign players that do come in, they've got a huge role to play. They've got to get the best out of the local players and improve their game, which is going to be great for the end of the day. It's for the national team because the local players are getting better.
All right, now those were quite easy compared to the last question, which is a bit personal, but it comes from Loga. And this has to do with a difficult time in your life, Abbas, and it goes like, how difficult was it for you when you were accused of corruption?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think it was difficult. Maybe the timing, it was not, it was a bit of a dark period for me.
Yep.
But never had a second of bad sleep, ever. Yeah. Because for me, I've been proven right, I think, now. And I know that I've had nothing to do with any of the accusation that was put towards me.
Well, have you seen it happen, Abbas?
Sorry?
Have you seen it happen? Like,
have I seen it happen physically?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it happen. Of course, you hear about it, Orangeman. You hear it about it. I'm sure Dato has heard it all throughout. But never on the field, never on the field, and I really mean it, never on the field that I've seen any of my teammates not give 100% or 200%. Opposition players, I can't speak about opposition players, Orangeman, because you are doing a job for your team. Are you asking me, did I ever go on the field and not give to 100%? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I have a question. During your playing days, when you were a professional player, what was your biggest extravagance? Were you driving around in a Ferrari? Did you live in a penthouse? What did you spend your money on?
I used to catch the bus and the taxi in Singapore.
He still does it now.
And then of course the Johor FA, who I have a great affiliation with. They looked after me. Of course, they gave me a house to live. We need a house, and every foreign player that comes in, of course, they got a roof on top of their head. Yeah, they gave me a car. All the foreigners, I think, are given houses.
Oh, you didn't buy a yacht or a Ferrari?
No, look, we played football because we love football. we love the game. If you don't love the game, you should not play the game. If you're not, you understand, if you don't care about the game, if you don't care about the team that you're playing with, if you don't care about your teammates, the fans, then you should not be playing the game. You've got to play the game with your heart. It's passion. If you're not passionate about football, then you know what? They should send you somewhere far, far away.
But you come from Australia, man. You know, born and bred there and kind of stuff. How was it for you to become a footballer from the young age? What happens? You know, we're talking about structured development and all that, right? When I was living there, I used to see my nephews go for training. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, something like that. From the age of 4 to 5 or 6, you know, structured training. And then every Sunday they had football. And that time in '85, Australian football was not heard actually globally, but since you landed in Malaysia, people came to know about ABBAS SAAD and then Australia. So how was football in Australia in terms of development?
You know what, Orangeman, during the 80s and 90s, it was semi-pro. It was part-time football. I used to go to work. I used to go to work from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then 5 p.m. I'd go to training. I'd get on a train for an hour and then a bus for half an hour to get to training for a 7:30 training. There was one thing in life: you should never forget where you came from and how you came about. You know, I mean, your childhood is very important, and that is important. And I think this is where I think a lesson to the current footballers: do not forget the hard work and on all, you know, and the hard work that your parents and everybody had to put through. That's why when you get the opportunity to play, take it, enjoy it. That's all I can say.
I want to be a footballer after listening to that. but okay,
too old, mate.
wait. I'm 22. What are you talking about? All right, time for a photo flash moment. And guess who's this gentleman? Hey! Oh my God, Abbas, what happened to the hair, lah?
Don't you wish you shaved your head earlier?
Yeah, not that quick. Like, that's Singapore days, I think. Yeah, it is Singapore days.
Good Lord, Abbas.
It doesn't look like him at all, right?
Looks like Joe
Yeah, actually,
Jordan.
when did you go bald?
I didn't go bald.
I mean, when did you shave your hair, lah? When did you
It's
shave?
been now, I think about 10
Looks
years
like
now.
you're pulling a lot of crowd just now.
About 10 years, yeah. I think that's a training
When he was
session
playing
at
football,
Sharla.
I was coaching Narayan.
Hey, but Abbas, before we go to a quick break, your documentary on your challenges is gonna be out soon, right? When is it?
Yeah, that's right. My documentary is about my, you know, pretty much my upbringing, my life story from my days growing up in the Middle East, in Beirut, and to Australia, to my football career. It's called The Turning Point of the Game. That should be out. We're hoping it's out early next year. We're supposed to be coming out this year, but a bit of a delay. It's been 4 years in the making. And all the questions I just answered, and a lot more. It will definitely be on it.
We want signed DVDs and tickets for the first show.